to the Palace. I am your host, Don William, and basically I'm just giving answers because the presence of depression is the absence of answers. The presence of answers is the absence of discouragement. A happy space is found in answers. More to come. Ciao bella. Welcome to the Palace. I am your friend Don William, and I'm basically here to give answers of how to really come into a permanent fix of a happy space. Most people, even in the body of Christ, are not happy because we're trying to do what's right instead of understanding the mechanism of reverberating what is. You see, the message is more than do's and don'ts, rights and wrongs. Really, it's one word: royalty. Royalty is the expression of the big palace. It's royalty. For the next few minutes, I'm going to be going over how to bring that kind of impact, how to connect the dots from above right down here to where we are today. It's royalty. Let me start off. In the beginning, he gave man dominion. So from the offstart, his motive was already clear. Rule, to be over, dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over every creeping thing that crawls upon the face of the earth. So you have the water, you have the skies, and you have the earth. Those three dimensions, man literally was given dominion over. At the end of the day, it's deeper than I'm saved, I live for the big boss, I don't do this, I don't do that. No, it's about understanding. In the new covenant, he says, thy kingdom or king's dominion come. Thy will be done. What is his will? To bring in earth, this is the whole will. This is the whole will. To bring in earth as it is, not was, not will be, as it is in the big palace. How do you do that? We all have a view of ourselves. Your time in consecration, or your time in prayer, your time in meditation, your time in playing your favorite gospel song. But when you finish, are you able to literally translate, that's my first point, that expression, in earth as it is? Are you able to, number one, translate? What do you mean translate? How do I have happiness? I must understand that his royalty, his majesty, must be translated. To translate something is to bring a thing from one place to another and make it understood. Translate. Someone is speaking Spanish, someone's speaking Hebrew. It's not enjoyable until it's translated. The good book was translated. So to translate, or to take from one place to another and make it to be understood the same as where you originally derived it from, that takes etiquettes. Etiquettes. What is he saying? Class is royalty in motion. Oh, you know, I'm sure he's on the throne somewhere. I'm sure he's sitting high, hearing all my prayers. How can I see that? Class is royalty in motion. Having class is being able to touch royalty, get an idea of royalty. What it is, so many people are seeking to be righteous. We no longer have manners. Righteous, we no longer have the best quality of our presentation, which is the regard of a thing in comparison to its own kind. Red cup, crystal glass. Plaid couch or plush sofa. Class is royalty in motion. And etiquette is the translation of class. It's the translation of class. What is he talking about? What I'm saying is, more of us have heard the message. Most of us, 90% of us have heard the message about him, but cannot translate how he is in earth as it is in heaven. We shout all day. Is that class? Is it contained? Is it self-controlled? Are you constrained? When you holler and run around, I don't care, I'm not ashamed of it. In a restaurant, is it class? Are you contained? My point is, you can have something so great from above, but if you can't translate in earth as it is in heaven, you'll lose your whole audience. Even the Apostle Paul said, he that speaketh in an unknown tongue. Well, that's great, but if you have not an interpreter, let him be seated. Our responsibility is to literally study class, royalty in motion, and gain etiquettes, the translation of class, to make what we think is so powerful to be clearly understood, to be interpreted. You see, and I want to give you a secret. The real power, the real fire is class. The more class, the greater power. The more etiquettes, you have a greater presence to you. Most people don't have a presence because they don't understand that until you are the way he is, you cannot move in the way that he does. The most powerful people are the most classiest people. You're in the restaurant. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm going to shout right here. Class is royalty in motion. Etiquettes is the translation, or to make clear from one place to another of what class is. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in the big palace. Translate. Can you translate how it is? How is his furniture? How is his furniture? Is the palace unclean? Are holes in the sofas of the palace? In earth, as it is. Are the doors off the hinges? Oh, the gates of when I enter those gates. Are the gates off the hinges? Is it noisy? You have to be able to translate in earth as it is. Make it understood, not by what you say, but how much class you move in. We've lost class. Secondly, after you learn to translate, listen, How do you translate? How do you bring in earth as it is in the big palace? You translate by being top shelf. That's my second point. Top shelf. We're saying we love Jesus with the bumper sticker on the back of your car. No. Top shelf. Top shelf. What I'm saying is, you have to have an ability to take from above and make who you are acceptable in the earth realm. How do you bring the message in the earth realm? And how does it become applicably workful or empowering for you? How does it really work for you if you're not top shelf? I'll give you an example. There are a lot of people that don't understand top shelf is how he is. Top shelf. Again, class is royalty in motion. Etiquettes, that means the translation of what class is. I don't have to wear that. I don't have to look this way. I don't have to have those material things. A bus is material. Okay. Forget about it. A bus is material. Plastic is material. Polyester is material. Everything is material. But you must understand that quality is the regard of a subject in comparison to its own kind. The higher the quality, the higher the value. The higher the value, the higher the worth. The higher the worth, the more you translate in earth as it is in the big palace. Translate. Bring to fruition. Make it easy to understand. Make it clear. What is in heaven? How is heaven? You translate by top shelf. I'm going to give you a few examples. When you're in the workplace, most people say, I'm not ashamed of him. I'm going to play this traditional gospel. I'm not against gospel, but what you must understand is, and I want you to listen very clearly, the original approach is royalty. Royalty is rulership. Everything you do that's outside of class is the reason you lose what you have. Most people are saying, it's warfare. It's something is after me. I lost this. You only lose things. I want you to catch this, please. You only lose things from a lack of class. I'll say it again, that's a witness. You only lose things from a lack of class. Class is what makes you lose things. Having class is what makes you gain, preserve, and conquer in things. When you're on the job, as I was saying earlier, or you're at the luncheon, and you're playing traditional, I'm not ashamed of it. You gotta understand, etiquettes is what to do, when to do it, how, where, and why in a top shelf fashion. Top shelf. Excellent. The wisest. The best. Does it bring value, which turns into worth into your life? Why would he turn water into wine? Royalty. The customs of a wedding. But, of course, you'll have someone there saying, no, I don't want that. Water is fine. See, because the word says, you just lost him. You have to translate. You have to be royalty in motion. When you move, they have to see his presence by the etiquettes of what to do, when to do it, where to do it, why, and how. How do you move in places? How do you move in the workforce? Do you have the big book in your hand saying, I'm not ashamed on break? They fired me because I'm a witness. No, they fired you because you lack class. They don't want to hear the truth. No, let me explain something. The truth is not so powerful that it makes you lose everything. The problem is you don't understand that real truth is the etiquette of a thing. It's the how. The how. Stop thinking they don't want the truth. No. We don't want people that can't give us answers, that can't function in society. You got to understand that the meaning, the real definition of etiquettes is the standardized rules that makes one accepted in society. Etiquettes are the standardized rules that makes one acceptable in society. What amazes me, and I'm still trying to figure out why most don't understand, that rules are spelled the same as rule. Because most of us, well, I need him to open the word. What text is he coming from? You have all of that and still can't function in society. You have to make it work. It has to work for you. If this truth that we're living in doesn't work for you, either you're not carrying it right or you don't know what truth is. Truth is not right and wrong. Who should, who shouldn't. How loud you can be. How much you can quote something. Real truth, for real, is royalty. And class is royalty in motion, and etiquettes is the translation of class. Top shelf. What would you play at the Fortune 500 picnic? Would you play your traditional? Or would you play some jazz? Or would you play some Mr. Sinatra? I have something for you that's going to blow you away. Let's be clear. We're talking about the happy space. Mr. Sinatra, his music is more spiritual than most. How could you say that? Because in earth, as it is in the big palace. See, faith is not how spiritual you can sound. Faith is moving in the etiquettes of how above is that brings rule in earth that helps you to win. I would get further playing a Sinatra song at a picnic, at a business gathering, than I would playing a traditional song. Oh, no, I'm not ashamed of him. It's not about hollering his name. It's about moving in how he is that makes his name translated to the audiences. Top shelf. He had class. He is class. Consider the lilies of the field. He was talking about plants. Sow not, neither do they reap nor gather into barn. This is for those who need to feel like you're hearing the word. That your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are you not much better than they? He said, consider the fowls of the air. Sow not, neither do they reap. Yet, so most of us say, yeah, see, if he feed the birds, will he not much more take care of us. See, you gotta believe. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is this, and I want you to hear this clearly. Consider the fowls of the air. That's a kingdom. The animal kingdom. Consider the lilies of the field. That's another kingdom. The plant kingdom. What he's saying is, if I feed them, shall he not much more feed you, O ye of little faith? It doesn't mean I have so much faith that he's going to do everything. I must have faith in moving how the kingdom moves. I must have faith in moving how the kingdom operates. He talked about the birds. He talked about the lilies. And he said, they sow not, neither do they reap. But you have to sow. That's kingdom. That's etiquette. That is moving how royalty moves. You must be top shelf. Your speech, your stance, how you parent, top shelf. The average parent parents hollering. Now they're trained to only listen when someone is yelling. The average person parenting skill set is discipline more than reward. But in a kingdom, there's reward as well as discipline. Who graduates that doesn't get a diploma? That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. You want a cookie? Yeah, I'd like a cookie and some ice cream. I graduated. The kingdom, his majesty, the way he rules is the answer for it all. This is deeper than just what I do and what I don't do, where I go, where I don't go. No, this has to be translated. This has to be top shelf. This has to be tangible, my last point. Tangible. We have not learned how to make the doctrine tangible. It's not tangible. I'm a Methodist. I'm apostolic. Is it tangible though? Do you have class? When you stand up behind a sacred desk and holler about what you don't like about women, and that a woman ought not to, where is the class? Where is your etiquette? Class values value. When you teach against women, you lack class. You're not royalty in motion. You're not translating what royalty is. You're not making it top shelf. That's the bottom. It's not tangible. Who's against women? A woman, see, a woman ought not. We don't do Christmas. We don't do Easter. People with class are festive. You don't even get it, man. You don't get it. A happy space can't be created being the Grinch. The dude that don't do so many things. You want to be just like him, but he never drove a car. You want to be just like him, but he never ate pasta. What's my point? Are you like his royalty? If it's Easter, if it's Christmas, if it's New Year's, if it's, oh no, we don't deal with Halloween, see that. When did candy become dark? I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't know. See, we strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. We don't understand the opportunities that we can translate. Moving top shelf Third point, to make it tangible of all these things we're saying. We get so much of what we call revelation, but we can't translate it anywhere to our group. We can only translate it to the people we're around every day. I got a real deal breaker for you. If you have so much word and you don't have other nationalities in your life, it's because your inability to translate. If you only have one nationality around you, okay, you're not able to translate. You're not moving in top shelf. And you're contrary to making it tangible. And all nations shall call you blessed. How can all nations call you blessed? How do you break barriers? Do you build walls and destroy bridges, or build bridges and destroy walls? It's deeper than no walls. We going out to the streets and holler. I got a message. We're going to all the projects, or we're going to all the streets, or we're going to the country clubs, and we're going to tell them Jesus saves. Are you translating majesty? Because royalty and majesty understands, I hope you're ready for this, understands strategy. We are not strategic. Strategy. You can't put on high-end fashion. You can't ride in this. You can't say this or say that. We lack class. We are unstrategic. Or else why would he say, follow me, I'll make you fishers of men? Does that mean I have to grow a long beard? No disrespect intended, but the guys walking around with a cross through the city on his shoulder. No. Why would he say that? Because you lack strategy. Class is the highest translation of his majesty. He is class. No man come to the Father but by the Son. That's class. You can't come directly to the greatest. You must come through the chain of command. That's class. The greatest military in the world has mimicked the very substratum of his majesty. That's class. Even in the courts, yes, you could pay right here, but you have to go through this person. That's class. The judge is not going to get up and jump from behind the desk. That's class. The etiquettes of emptying out before you come in the courtroom. That's class. Class is etiquettes. Class is chain of command. Class is the rankings of the how. When people say, there's only one, there ain't no three God, there's one, Jesus is God. That's the most classless statement I've ever heard in my life. Because you can't come straight to any entity that's a main ruler. Well, let me break it down a little bit. Can you just go to the dentist's office and walk in and say, hey man, I want you to, how you doing? I want you to fix this. Don't you have to go through a receptionist? He's a lost soul. Everybody without class is lost. Everybody that doesn't have etiquettes, royalty in motion is what class is. Etiquettes is the translation of making it clear what this really means. lack etiquettes, lack manners, lack chain of command, we lack royalty, we lack quality. We lack quality. We lack quality. Your number one witness is having class. Period. Period. Y'all love the Lord. Come on in. Clothes all on the floor. Junk all in the trunk. Just throw it over there. Nah. Remember, as I sum this up, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is. We must learn to translate, be top-notch, and make tangible what that is.